So you're moving to Warrensburg or you're PCS'ing to Whiteman Air Force Base and you don't know where to buy some kids books. I can help you with that. Today, I am very excited to bring to you one of my most favorite new businesses to move into Warrensburg. Let's wait for that to go by. The Gunzil and Bowser Children's Bookstore. It is magical. I'm so excited. Here we go. And don't forget to like and subscribe right down below because I make a new video every single week. You're gonna wanna get notified. Also, my contact information is right down there. So if you're coming here, if you're moving here, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out, give me a call, send me a text, send me an email. I love talking with people. Today, I love the bubbles. I'm so excited to do this bookstore walkthrough. This is one of my most favorite new businesses that have moved here. It's Gunzil and Bowser Children's Bookstore. There's something just so magical about a children's bookstore, and y'all are gonna see how great this place is. Let's go. Also, you know it's open because bubbles. Ah. Today with Mr. Woods Prail. He is the owner and operator of one of my most favorite new businesses in Warrensburg, Gunzil and Bowser Bookstore. Thank you so much for letting me come video. Please tell me, how did you decide to open a children's bookstore? Because this is one, awesome, and it's very unique.
Well, the children's bookstore idea kind of stemmed from a place originally in Kansas City called the Reading Reptile, which I took my daughters to on a regular basis. And it just had this very family-oriented, very, book-oriented, obviously, location that made you kind of want to come back and spend time with your family and sit down and read, which is a regular routine for a lot of folks who come in here, pull books off the shelf and just spend time with your kids. And that's a big part of it. I mean, a lot of people think it's like, I love books and all those kind of things, which, yes, I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah.
But the big part is that it's part of a family unifying kind of a concept, and that's a big part of it. Originally, well, we own the building, and my dad actually wrote children's books, or wrote a child's book called Gunzil and Bowser. So I grew up with that, and I consumed children's literature as a child all the time, illustrated children's literature. So that was a big part of it. And having that opportunity to open this place was just not necessarily something I always wanted to do. As a matter of fact, I've been an English teacher for the last 25 years or so. So this was not on my list of things that I was planning on doing, not even remotely close, and kind of stumbled into this and decided, why not? And that was pretty much everything about this. And I've had the greatest opportunity to meet some marvelous people and marvelous families. And that's my biggest draw about this, is just having the opportunity to come in, have fun, sit down with your kid. As a matter of fact, a couple weeks ago, I had a mom and daughter who sat over there and read through Make Way for Ducklings in its entirety, which is lovely, especially since mom is a teacher and mom and the mom was a teacher, but grandma actually was there with. So we have two adults reading to each other, and so that was lovely to see. And so that's kind of like what I want to see. I want to see that unifying. Can we kind of foster a family here?
Yes.
And that's a big part of it. And being that I've been in education as an English teacher, I can see those homes that did that on a regular basis created good readers, good students, good people in general. So to be part of that is great.
Agree. I completely, and your store has that, it has that whimsy and the imagination and the excitement that books fosters, especially if you start reading at a young age.
Because you kind of have to sit next to that person, have that physical connection, have you both looking at the book together. And I mean, that fosters love, that fosters a future together. And that's a big part of it. You can't just, I mean, video games do not do that. It's just not the same thing.
Exactly. Completely correct. One thing I really appreciate, sir, is when I came in here with my kids and I asked you, I don't know if you remember, but you know, what you would recommend. And I was like, you know, my one child reads at this level, my other child. And you instantly were like, oh, this is a great book. Oh, this is a great book. Oh, this is a great book. So it was really awesome to see someone in a business like a bookstore actually knowing their books, because you know, I've gone up, you know, Barnes and Nobles, and not saying anything against Barnes and Nobles because I love bookstores in general, but they just don't have they don't know the books in their store necessarily. And you just zipped right over and you gave us great recommendations that my girls loved.
Well, it's a curated environment. I mean, I think to myself, what would I want to read to my children? What would I want to sit at my daughter's? I mean, for years, I read to my daughter until she was 14, and that was a morning routine and an evening routine. And we plowed through pretty much the canon of Western literature, and so that created that, you know, that connection between us, and still fostered that. I still foster that today. And what I see, it's funny because sometimes I will see people come in and like one of the family members will leave, like will stay outside, and they're like, please come in, come on, this is for the entire family. This isn't just for these folks. I mean, just like go out and sit down. I'm like, come on, really? I think you'll find something here. I think I would love to see all of you have that moment together. Yeah,
I love that. I love that. Well, if you don't mind, could you walk around and show me some of your favorite books?
Sure, no problem.
Awesome.
So actually, I do have to kind of explain these two sections.
Yeah, tell me about your sections.
Okay, now this was not originally what the plan was, but I actually had a display here, and I had a little girl who came over and said, "This is the girls section." And I said, "No, it's not, honey." But you know, she goes, "No, because these are all the girls' books." And I said, "Then you're going to have to help me, basically select." And she went over and pulled books from shelves and set up a good chunk of this display as the girls section.
I love it.
And I'm like, "That's cool. I have no problem with that." And so that prompted the next time was I said, okay, you got it. Next time she came in, you got to help with the boys section. That's exactly what she did. Yeah. And so this has become the boys section. This was a book that I had as a kid, Leif the Lucky by Dolier, which is about exploring America from the Vikings perspective.
I had this book.
Did you really?
I had this book. My mom's going to see this and be like, oh my gosh, my dad read this book to me.
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, I'm getting all the feels actually right
exactly
now.
What I'm shooting for. A big part of this is all about the feels.
Oh man, I'm actually getting feels. I haven't seen that book in 35 years. I'm aging myself right now.
It's amazing to know people that come in here and just have those moments. And you know, when you would walk over to a Walmart and see the display of books, and you don't rarely have those feels. And this is really about those feels, which is also about the toys that are up here.
Yeah.
Here's my activity center. We've got a magic section.
Oh, awesome.
We've got if you're not already familiar with Ed Emberley books, on the Make a World books, these are glorious. These are also something I grew up with.
Oh, so did I. There's like how to draw things easily.
Very
I
simple.
used to love these. Like how to draw a pig. Oh my.
Very, very simple.
This is like bringing me back to my childhood right now.
Which is exactly what I'm shooting for here. And then over here we have, let's see, we have the mythology section. The disaster section, and one other one that was prompted by a kid that said they really, and it was something I was always interested in as a kid as well, but I had a kid that's like, do you have anything on disasters? And so that I started picking up things for that audience. We've got a sports section over here. The books on these shelves, primarily they are there because they fit on that shelf. So a lot of people, it's like people go like, well, why is that section? It's like, well, it fits. So that's kind of, exactly, that big book fits there.
Oh my gosh, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day.
Great book, great book.
Such a good book.
And I grew up in San Francisco, so this became the San Francisco section. All these books deal with San Francisco. This is the Paris section.
Babar. Oh, I loved Babar.
A lot more of the board books are over here. Really enjoyed putting this thing together. A lot of books I did not even realize that were board books before I went into this business. These books up here are primarily actually adult oriented, as in like, you know, they take the images and a lot of the lines from the books and talk about, you know, what it is to be an adult.
I love this. Keep curious and carry a banana. Oh, this is so great. This is great. Love it.
And the oversized books right over there. with the tiger. That tiger has spent more time being dragged around this place. People often get very concerned. It's like, you shouldn't drag this. Like, that's fine. I don't care. He is just great.
My son dragged that around your store. He's special needs and he really likes stuffed animals. He also really loves books, but he'd beeline to that, and then he just carried it around.
Which is just fine. Everything in here, nothing in here is breakable. The only breakable items are in the cabinet, which only occasionally get attacked. As a matter of fact, I had a kick a couple weeks ago. They just did a full grind, just slammed into it. I was like, oh, please don't break your face. We've got the series section, those two sections over there. We've got the non-fiction section, which we've got artists and musicians and historical figures down there. And then these are kind of sections, but not. And you can see the genres.
I love that.
Those are actually put together by the Creative Writing Club at school. They did the majority of these.
Books for scuba diving lemons.
Once again, same thing. Backward books from underneath.
For farmers and silly people. I love the descriptions. How to invite a squirrel to a picnic.
The paperbacks. Once again, by size, although this section is the poetry section, and the nonfiction section. Back here, chapter books.
Ooh.
And the pop-up section.
Yeah.
These are series as well as graphic novels. More chapter books over here, although these are a little bit older.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, this is a section that's adapted for books you might be familiar with, like Unbroken.
Yeah.
And I Am Malala. These are all adapted for younger audiences. We got the horror section, which you got over here. And the extension of that would be the Edward Gorey section, which is also, I grew up with a lot of the darker tales, and the Edward Gorey sections really, that would meant something to me. A lot of the stories, stuff that, once again, meant something to me.
Yeah, I love the Edward Gorey section because, oh my gosh, I used to read those when I was a kid, and they were so spooky, but you couldn't put them down.
But you couldn't put them down.
Couldn't put them down.
And so that's why they're there. And I sell those on a regular basis. A lot of people are really shocked at that. Matter of fact,
I'm actually eyeballing the You Read to Me, I'll Read to You. I'm going to buy that before we go.
I would love that. You have no complaints whatsoever.
Okay, I have to get this book because I want to read this to my son. I have such good memories.
Oh, that is lovely.
I haven't seen this book since I was probably about 7 years old. My dad, and then it disappeared because we moved. We moved from Oregon back to California or to Florida. I moved so much as a child just because of my dad's job, but it disappeared in the move, and I never saw it again. And this is the first time I've seen it.
Mine's still at home, and it has crayon marks all over it. So
that's awesome. Yes, definitely have to get this. Have to get it.
That is not my best mark.
Yeah, I like being able to look at the books and see the books. Oh my gosh, it's a book about a snake. Yep, gonna have to get that.
What about this itch one?
Let's see. Ooh. Nope, can't read that.
Why?
Everything. You didn't want to know what makes you scratch. Listen, I learned about the mites on our eyelashes, and it was a 6-month recovery from that piece of knowledge. I can't read that book. I've been eyeballing this pop-up book since I walked in. I love pop-up books. Monsters Big Day. That's so cool. That's awesome. Okay. Savannah.
I'm so glad to see that Emily book. I love the Ed Emily books.
Yeah, and so my I have 2 8-year-old twin stepdaughters, and Savannah, one of them just loves drawing, but she gets a little, frustrated. And I bought different like sketching things, but I literally, until the moment that you said something about it, I'd forgotten about these. But I remember how much I love this book.
They are so easy.
Because I felt like, oh, I can be an artist too. So she's gonna love this book.
There's a monsters version of it down there.
Oh my gosh, is there? Okay, I gotta get this too then. Yep, she is just gonna love, because she loves drawing. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Yep.
Ooh, how exciting. You have made my day. You're picking up half of my books that I absolutely adore. Yeah, that Leaf of Lucky, that's one of those ones that I go, oh, that's leaving. Don't leave.
But just know that,
it's going to a good home.
Seeing this book literally made me teary-eyed on camera, and that rarely happens.
So if someone wants to visit your really, really, really cool, awesome bookstore, when should they come?
We just added Wednesdays to our schedule. We're open from 4 to 6 on Wednesdays. Fridays we're open from 4 to 6, and on Saturdays we're open from 10 to 3.
Awesome. So Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, guys, come to the bookstore because this feels, so when I was little, there was a little bookstore right around the corner when we lived in Newport Beach, and we used to go there on the weekends and after school and just sit and read. And occasionally our parents would buy us books. We weren't super, rich, so we couldn't buy them a lot. But it was a very similar experience to this because it was just kids and families sitting on the floor in different areas. And
that's a big part of this. Just be there. I just want you to come in and be here. You want to treat it like a library? I have no problem with that whatsoever, and that's what a lot of folks do. I have a family that comes in, I would say every couple of weeks, and the whole family comes in, sits down, pulls books. Sometimes they buy things, sometimes they don't. I'm not really sweating it. I mean, I want you to be here. I want you to have those moments. And I want to be part of those moments.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing for me. I mean, I had a little boy last week that pulled a book off the shelf and wanted to sit down and read with me. And I'm like, that's cool. And mom and dad kind of went shopping, wandered around. He and I read for a little while. The funny thing was he went over and got the chair and sat down. Because I initially had him sit on the floor and he was like, "Can I go get the chair?" And dad said, "You can't drag the chair." And immediately he picked it over his head, walked over, sat down. And he and I just had this moment. And being that, although I have adult children, I don't have any grandkids, and those aren't really on the future on either one of my daughters. And so it's really nice. I can almost have grandchildren, through somebody else. It's lovely.
Yeah. That's what this, you very successfully created that atmosphere. So thank you for bringing your bookstore to Warrensburg.
That is not a problem.
So there you have it, folks. Gunzil and Bowser's bookstore. Amazing. There's something just reminds me of my childhood every time I look at some children's books. And this is a magical business. The owner is magical. I love everything about this store. So I hope y'all come visit it when you come to Warrensburg. Don't forget to like and subscribe right down below because I make a new video every single week. You're gonna wanna get notified. Also, my contact information is right down there. So if you're coming here, if you have questions, if you need help buying a house, do not hesitate to reach out. Give me a call, send me a text. I love talking to people. Bye.